You can avoid plagiarism by keeping track of the sources you consult in your resource. Hi, myself Dr. Rita Singh Rathore, and today's topic is avoiding plagiarism. Plagiarism means using someone else's work without giving them proper credit. In academic writing, plagiarizing involves using words, ideas, or information from a source without citing it correctly. So it is called plagiarism when you don't inform and you don't just cite the references properly and you copy the text. So taking passages from multiple sources, passing from together and turning into work as your own, copying from a source but changing a few words and phrases to resume plagiarism. So one way is to review papers for obvious sign of plagiarism, and such signs include evidence that text has been copied and pasted directly from another sources into the paper you are reading. So this can be change into the font or the text size, as well as sudden changes in tone, spelling and grammar or writing quality. That is called plagiarism. So it's an act of using someone else's ideas and work without the proper citation. For example, plagiarism, you may say copying, paraphrasing without attribution. If you will write the proper references and you do paraphrasing of the sentences, it is not a part of the plagiarism. So after knowing the meaning of the plagiarism, that what are the main consequences of the plagiarism? So and in addition to the act of the just like a theft, it is a violation of ethics because it is deliberate. There are protocols already in place for citing sources and identifying one source from another. To ignore these requirements is to steal someone else's work and take whatever credit might come your way. So it can ruin your college career, it may ruin your student life, maybe your grades will be lower and or you may be fail also. So many consequences are there. It could destroy the student's reputation, or it could destroy the professional reputation if any professional person is doing. It could destroy the academic reputation also, and legal repercussion could be there, monetary repercussion could be there, and the plagiarized research could be there. So many things are there. So that's why whenever you just copy or don't copy anyone's idea or article or any literature for your convenience. No need to be so much careless about, because being a multiple consequences are like that. You may fail, and academic probation could be there, or the many things could be there. So it damages one's reputation, it's impacting future career prospects, and legal actions may occur leading of fines or the lawsuits. Plagiarism undermines personal integrity also, trust and the ethical standing in academic and professional communities. Here, many types of the plagiarism is there. Number one is a direct plagiarism. In this plagiarism is the word for word transcription of a section of someone else's work without attribution and without quotation marks. So it's really an offense. Whether you call this clone plagiarism or word for word plagiarism, direct plagiarism is your vanilla everyday plagiarism. This involves copying someone else, and this is a part of an individual's work without changing anything about it and integrating it into your work without attributing anything. So this is called a plagiarism, that you are just copying the things without thinking that how it will make impact or something. So this is an offense, and nobody can copy anyone's text in that way, and this is really need to be very much careful about. So plagiarism is a very wide, and one by one I'll explain about that what the rest of the plagiarism are. So in the next one is the self-plagiarism. In self-plagiarism means reusing work that you have already published or submitting for a class, and it can involve resubmitting an entire paper, copying or paraphrasing passages from your previous work. That means you cannot use your own work many times in the multiple places. Fine, because turning in a paper for a current class that you already submitted as an assignment for a previous class. So being a student, you need to keep in mind, suppose that you have submitted an assignment, so you can't submit the same notes by the other name. So using a substantial amount of a paper written for another course as content for a new assignment, treating anything you have previously written as if it were new material. So that's why you need to aware about that what is self-plagiarism and what I need to care about, what to do and what not. So it will keep you safe. The next is a mosaic plagiarism. What it is? Mosaic plagiarism occurs when a student borrows phrases from a source without using quotation marks or finds synonyms for the author's language while keeping to the same general structure and meaning of the original. So this is almost same. It includes copying and pasting an author's blog post word for word, then changing small parts of it to make it appear original, like the bit changes you will do from your side and rest of the things will be there, and you will not attribute, you will not give credit to the original authors. So although the copying text is not exactly like the original, it is still plagiarism as the bulk of the text has been directly taken from the other resource. So you need to be very much careful about when you just copy the thing, you are just making your notes. So you need to know about what is plagiarism and how many types of plagiarism is there, because if you won't be aware with it that this is a plagiarism, you will make mistake unknowingly. So this is the main point. So, and if you will not care about, so as I said many times to you all, that it is a type of a offense. Fine. So, and if you care it, it's not difficult to paraphrase, it's not difficult to attribute the things to make it as your original work. So you need to follow the system about. Now, the last one is a accidental plagiarism. What it is? Accidental plagiarism occurs when a person neglects to cite their sources. That person is not willing to or mosquitoes their sources, or unintentionally paraphrases the sources by using similar words. The person is not caring about group of words and to sentence structure without any attribution. Like the citation mistakes could be there, are one of the most common type of the plagiarism. For instance, if you copy and paste a famous quote like "My fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country, but fail to property cite job." So you have to cite this also after the paraphrasing. So sometimes it's happen because of the any accidental it is gone by, because you are not citing, you are misattributing because of the lack of knowledge, you are not citing an idea or paraphrase in the paper, or you are reusing by mistake. So you need to be very much aware about the types of the plagiarism, that what to do and what not to, and not to be a part of an offense. Now there is a big question that why do people plagiarize? So multiple reasons could be there, like the lack of interest or the laziness, lack of preparation could be there, lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, or anything like the pressure of the work, lack of the time, or laziness, or they are not aware with the plagiarism, or accidentally plagiarism. So multiple reason is there, and basically people want that if they choose some excellent research paper and they copy and paste to make the assignment, and they will get a very good grade. And maybe the fear of the failing could be there. They will fail if they won't make the good notes, and they don't have capabilities to make a good notes, which is called a lack of knowledge. Or basic reason which is very common nowadays with the youth, that is a procrastination. Like initially they would just linger on the things, then the later on I'll finish my task, and later on when the bottom date is there, they try to copy paste. So the poor time management is also a basic reason. Or they are not interested to make assignments. When they are not interested to make assignment, this is the main reason, because when the interest is not there, they won't study, then the lack of knowledge would be there. So they may copy and paste, and they believe that they will not get caught. They think that they will not get caught, and smartly they copied and paste on all the things. This is also a reason. And maybe some confusion could be there about what constitutes plagiarism or current university policies. So multiple reasons could be there for the plagiarism. So as it is an offense and they are not aware with it, so because of the pressure, because of the time management lacking, because of the procrastination means, and because of the confusion, because of the lack of knowledge, because of the pressure, they do these all things, which is really very bad. Because bad in the sense like that it is an offense and they would be failed. So all the students need to be very much careful about to know about that what the plagiarism is and why not to use it and what will happen if they will go through the plagiarism. So this is a very important thing. Now, what are the main consequences of the plagiarism? Briefly, I had explained before also that what are the main consequences, because it is an offense and it is considered a serious offense in universities and other research organizations because it is a form of fraud and equal theft. So even when committed unintentionally, the consequences of like the several consequences are there. Like the plagiarism is a dishonest. Committing plagiarism shows that a researcher is dishonest about their involvement in the work they present, and it is an offense to the owner of the work. So using someone else's work without acknowledging them is stealing their work. It is just like type of the theft and the robbery. It derails the learning process. When you fail to do your research, analyze your findings, and present your work with supporting evidences, you are not learning. It is the duty of every researcher to voice their own informed opinion for learning to be an ongoing process. Everybody should learn, and it blurs the origin of ideas also. Rules of citation in academic writing are in a place to give credit to the source of ideas. Plagiarism obscured the origin of ideas and makes it difficult for your readers to find the original sources to conduct further research or identify gaps in your work, and it results in poor quality work. The flow of thought from original ideas is inhibited by plagiarism. A plagiarized work is often a mixture of information from different sources that lacks of coherency and fails in its mandate to convey clear arguments. So it is like the overall very negative impact is there in the research world because of being your work plagiarized. So everybody need to know about that what it is and how to avoid plagiarism to make you excellent researcher. And because if you avoid the plagiarism, you will not learn something new, and learning process should be there in each everyone's work. Something new should be there. So your entire career will impact if you go through the plagiarism. Now the question is that how to avoid plagiarism when it is such a serious offense. So how you will avoid the plagiarism in your work? You need to keeping track of the sources you consult in your research and paraphrasing or quoting from your sources by using a paraphrasing tools and adding your own ideas. This doesn't mean that you will copy paste and you will go through the paraphrase tools. You need to add your own idea, that what is the reflection of those all research papers knowledge on you, and crediting the original author in an in-text citation and in your reference list. You need to use a plagiarism checker before you submit your assignment to the university. So that means that if I conclude that how you will avoid the plagiarism, what to do and what not, so simply you need to cite your source. You need to include quotations. You need to paraphrase wisely. You need to present your own idea, which is very important. It's not like that you choose some of the research papers of the good writers for the same topic and you paraphrase it smartly and you have submitted. No. What you have learned from those all things, what's your own skill, what's your idea, what's your new research, that you need to add in your assignment. And after completing all the tasks, you need to use a plagiarism checker to check out that how much plagiarism is there. It is a moderate, it is a higher, or it is a normal. So you need to check out all the things again once when it's not done excellent. That means you made yourself as an excellent researcher. Thing is that how does one cite a source, how you will cite it. So for books the different pattern is there, for the articles and the web pages different pattern is there. For the books, for the author name will come, where is the main title of the author will come, then the first name, then the title of the topic, then place of publication, then the publisher and the publication year will come. And for the articles, author, title of the article and title of journal, volume, issue, date, page number, everything will come. And for the web page resources, like author, title of page, web address of the URL and the date of access comes. So accordingly, systematically you will cross check that which resource you use for your work. It is a book, it is an article, or it is a web page. Accordingly you will write the references. Multiple tools are there, but you must know about that, what is the difference among those all things. So first practice it manually, you access some of the knowledge, then you go through the tools if you want to become a excellent researcher. If you want to really learn something in the research field, then you need to go through those all features. Here, before to start up your work for the research work, we need to understand what is paraphrasing and what is a summarizing. So there is a difference. Paraphrasing means rephrasing text or speech in your own words without changing its meaning. The meaning will be same. And summarizing means cutting it down to its bare essentials. You can use both techniques to clarify and simplify complex information of the ideas. So how do you summarize and paraphrase a paragraph? You need to summarize and paraphrasing very first skim the source. Then you take point from notes. After that you close or put away the source. Then turn your point from notes into the sentence. And at last test what you have written to ensure you have avoided plagiarism or not. This way you will go for that, and the paraphrasing steps will be decide what the key information is for the purpose of your discussion. Change the order of the ideas and the words. You may change the word from grammatical form it's necessary. You may use multiple synonyms if it is appropriate, but do not change any specific terminology because meaning would be the same. So accordingly you will do an example of good versus bad paraphrasing. Fine. So these all are the main techniques, main steps of the paraphrasing or the summarizing the research paper. You will go through the, and don't forget to cite it. You will quote the references properly while giving the credit to the original authors. If you want to score really brilliant marks in the assignment, if you want to be pass in fact, because if the things won't be proper, you will be fail. So these all are the main things. These are the main paraphrase, and multiple paraphrase tools are there online, but you need to practice it manually because the learning is a different thing. And main thing is that learning. If you don't learn, the things won't work. Because every time to use tool to finish your work, it's not okay thing. You need to understand that what is the actual pattern is and how it will work. In the previous slide also, I have suggested many tips or the technical things that what are the main techniques to avoid the plagiarism is there, but in the concise way again I can brief out all the things. The best way to avoid the misconduct or the plagiarism is by self-checking your documents by using the plagiarism checker tools. So whenever you are done with your work, then also the multiple times you check with the plagiarism checker tools that what is the ratio of the plagiarism there in your work, and any word or other ideas that are not your own but taken from another paper need to be cited. Once when it is cited, it won't be the part of the plagiarism. So cite your own material. If you are using content from your previous paper also, then also you need to cite. You must cite yourself also. So cite your source, and you may include the quotations, paraphrase, present your own idea, and finally use a plagiarism checker. Once when you are checking it with the help of the tools, then your work will be the excellent. So these all are the main steps. As I said and suggested many times to use a plagiarism checker, multiple tools are there to detect the mistakes in your work. So multiple tools are there. I may introduce you with some of the names like the Turnitin is there, Unicheck is there, QText is there, Scrubber and Program, and the Grammarly. The multiple tools are there to check your work, that it is completely authenticated or not, you cited everything, plagiarism is score and everything before the final submission to the university, because university is very serious about the plagiarism. If your work will be highlighted like the plagiarism score will be high, then you will be failed. So before submitting the assignment to the university, go through these all the tools. After the final work, you may check the score of the plagiarism. Now, we need to go through the ethical writing, that what the ethical writing is and what are the main features of it and how the researchers will go through it. So it's writing with a level of inclusion, respect and acknowledgement of diversity. And the importance of ethical writing then is based not only upon the avoidance of the plagiarism, but also avoiding the weaknesses of the bias and the exclusive language. And the multiple guidelines are there for the ethical writing, like that it ensures that your research is authentic and error-free, and will allow you to gain credibility and the support from the public. So you must adhere of the ethical guidelines also while presenting your findings in your manuscripts. So this is the main properly what the ethical writing is, and why we need to go through those all things, because the writers have an ethical responsibility to the readers. They must treat readers how they themselves want to be treated. So this means providing an honest representation of facts, opinions, beliefs, and the research. Readers assume authors are the originators of the written work unless stated otherwise. So encourage responsible research, promote ethical writing habits. I'll give you some of the tips for the ethical writing. How do you write a good research paper ethically? So you need to choose an ethics related topics. Since writing an ethics paper involves building an argument, it is suggested to pick a database moral issue and it create a question based title and present a strong argument. Craft an essay outline and provide example and the counter arguments, which is very important, because you have to consider all the approaches to be a very good person and do the right thing. As an ethical person, you may reflect upon your own integrity to try to do more good and bad to adhere of the ethical principles, because ethics is what guides us to tell the truth, keep our promises, or help someone in need. So there is a framework of ethics underlying our lives on a daily basis to helping us make decisions and that create very positive impacts that steering us away from the unjust outcome. So we need to apply the ethics accordingly, the systems which I just shared with you. So you start early and plan your time, because the procrastination shouldn't be there, and seek help when if it is needed with your tutors or who is tutoring you, and be a very writing center and understand assignments requirement, that what is being asked and what you have to submit and what is the systematic way, what's the terminology of that, and what from which university you are enrolled and what are the rules and the procedures are there. So properly manage your sources, and once you check multiple times the plagiarism is scored before the final submission to make your work excellent and to score a very extraordinary grade from the university. So here in academic writing skills, I have explained so many presentations to you. I have started with the critical thinking, critical reading, critical writing, and paragraph writing techniques. And now the topic was the plagiarism. And this topic is relevant to how to avoid plagiarism. So now I'm just concluding the things, because it is very important to avoid plagiarism. And when you properly acknowledge the contributions of to knowledge made by other people, you are showing respect for their work. Okay, if you are attributing them, if you're just writing the proper reference, that means you're showing respect for their work and you are giving credit where credit is due. So you are not misleading the reader to believe that your work is solely your own, and it will make you very authenticated researcher, very good learner, very good writer. So you need to go through those all things, and it's not very difficult nowadays, because the multiple tools are available online, which if you go through the things, if you maintain your learning and you do practice every day, then you could be a very good researcher. So recap the key points and reiterate the importance of avoiding plagiarism and encourage ethical writing practices, and all the best in the new journey to become a new writer or new researchers, and prove yourself to go through all the features if you were not aware with it that what the plagiarism is. So I have explained everything, that it is an offense, so you just be away from those all things and just submit the assignment in a very excellent way. And if you are a writer, so you just write the things in a very outstanding way by following all the tips. I hope this would be very much helpful for you. See you soon with some of the new topics. Thank you so much.